Baqarah verse 260 is asking Allah for showing him كيف تحيي الموتى. رب أرني كيف تحيي الموتى. I say it first in Arabic. I didn't translate it because there are two ways to translate this, which makes difference. I want to translate it carefully. Of course, if you translate it carefully, then it's only one way. Rabb, which is Rabbi, my Lord, is very important, my Lord. So it's about Rububiyyah of Allah. Arini, show me. Kaifa, how, tuhyi, you revive, al-mauta, the dead. If we think that Prophet Ibrahim asked about resurrection and revival of the dead only, then we may translate, please show me how dead are revived, how resurrection takes place. But Allama Tabatabai has made a good observation. He says, no, the question was not about resurrection or revival of the dead only. The question is how you do it. كيف تحيي الموتى. Therefore, the question was not show me in how something can be revived. So in my presence, in front of my eyes, please give life to a dead person and I can see it. If Allah was doing this, then maybe Prophet Ibrahim was only seeing what happens in this. Unless he had malakuti vision that he could also see the divine involvement. Because most of the time what we see is what in this dunya? We see rain is coming. We may not see hand of God. We may not see involvement of God. And this is the problem that we have today. That today we look at natural phenomenon and we try to explain them by the rules of physics and chemistry, etc., mathematics, but we are not looking at illat fa'ili or illat gha'i. Ayatollah Jawadi Amali Hafazahullah has a beautiful point. He says everything is a triangle. Every phenomenon is a triangle. One is the material aspect of it. One is illat fa'ili, the one that gives existence to this. One is illat gha'i, where this is heading. What's the end of it? What's the purpose? This is a triangle. It's muthallath. But in the modern secular, understanding of science, unfortunately, this muthallas has lost two angles. Illat fa'ili is forgotten. Illat gha'i is forgotten. And the focus is only on the maddi side, the internal things that happen here. And he says, muthallas has become musle. Musle is, what they used to do, some pagans, they used to cut off the outstanding parts of the face, like ear, like nose, like lips. It was called musle kada. So, Prophet Ibrahim didn't want to have such limited understanding that how things work and something is revived. Like for example, how we see every year the land is revived, trees are revived. We see this. No, he wanted to see how Allah does this. رب أرني كيف تحيي, كيف you revived it, how you revived it. And what Allah made him able to witness was that Allah used him as a channel. Through him he revived those birds. So said, خذ أربعة من الطير. Take 4 birds. It could be just with one bird, but Allah wanted to make it even more clearer for him. Take 4 birds. واجعل على كل جبل جزءا منهن. These 4 birds, you mix their flesh and put on each mount or hill part of this. So from every bird, something is here, something is there, something is another place. And so what we have here is not a full bird. No, a little from this bird, a little from that. From each 4 of them, there is something here, there is something there. So they are mixed and they are scattered and they have no life. And the only thing you need to do, ثُمَّ ادْعُهُنَّ, call them. So instead of Allah saying directly without involvement of Ibrahim, kun fayakun, to say to life, be there, and then they would be alive. Allah used Ibrahim as a channel, and the command of God through the tongue and mouth of Ibrahim, and of course through his heart and tongue, was reaching to these dead birds. This was not a physical sound only. If it was a physical sound only, then dead bird could not understand it. And it was not a spiritual sound only, because it seems that this da'wah could be heard by other people who were around. So it had a kind of like body and soul. Whenever we communicate, there are things that can be heard. For example, if Ya Allah is said by a mu'min or kafir or by a machine or by a parrot, Ya Allah from the physical aspect is the same. Maybe a kafir can say it more beautifully than a mu'min. But this Ya Allah, when it is said, it carries something also spiritual. When a believer says Ya Allah, this spirituality, this light reaches heart of people. But you cannot detect this with machine. But it can revive hearts of people. When kafir says that Ya Allah has no life, So when Ibrahim called these birds, there was a physical dimension that he uttered something, but there is a spiritual dimension that through the heart and words and breathing of Ibrahim, command of God reached those dead birds. And they were resurrected as they used to be, not that they had to, take time, be eggs, and then, little by little grow. And quickly, not that because now they need some time to rest or, to little bit, walk. ثُمَّ يَأْتِينَكَ سَعْيًا, because they want to reach the source of that call. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala involved Ibrahim ala nabiyyina wa alihi wa alayhi salam in this process of reviving the dead. So Ibrahim saw the mulki side of it, but saw the malakuti side of it, and even more, he was part of the process. He didn't just witness, he was part of the process.